Sure. Hi, my name's Steve Clark. I'm doing a compression coat on American Clay plaster right now. It's the final process. Yeah, this is a real nice finish. This is the Loma product. It has sand in it, as well as clay.
And are there any other additives or?
This is the most natural wall covering on the market today.
That's awesome.
There's no VOCs, promotes the negative ion, repels dirt, dust, and cat hair, dog hair. It's an amazing product.
I've put on 2 coats of this myself by mixing it up, and it took approximately 3 hours per coat for about, I'd say 300 square feet. We've done this rounded wall, and now Steve is coming to put what's called a compression coat on it, and it's going to make it pretty durable and enhance the finish a little bit.
When you're doing this, it's real important not to get the wall too wet. If it gets too wet, you just stop what you're doing, go to another spot, let it dry out a little bit more. You have problems with it coming off the wall or bubbling if it's too wet. So if those occur, let it dry completely and come back with a sponge and fix those spots by hand like that.
It's amazing because this product can be finished off like this with kind of a rough texture, or it can be smoothed right down to almost a porcelain finish where you could see your reflection in it.
Yeah.
It is pretty durable, but if it gets mixed up in the future, you just pull out a little of the dried clay, wet it down, put it in your little crack, and wet it down and finish it off and fix it.
Yeah.
Really?
I'm the only certified applicator in the state of Michigan right now.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And let's see, cost-wise, I can't even remember what I paid Jim for this.
It goes about $1 a foot, roughly, to $1.35 a foot, depending on the products used. And you know, that's not that expensive really, and I could do an application for anywhere from $2 to $4 for new construction, and then I could do an artistic wall, faux brick effects, and that goes upwards there. A high polished Venetian plaster, $6 a foot. That's almost half less than a true Venetian plaster from Italy. That starts at usually around $9–12 a foot.
Oh, that's so doable.
Yeah.
And from start to finish, how is this done?
Well, we want to have some patience. You know, the first thing to do is prepare your wall. We call that a substrate. And, you know, what are we working with? If it's drywall, if it's new construction, you know, you don't want to sand the sheetrock prior to application. You want to make sure the walls are dust-free, completely dust-free. The dust will give you a problem. And then after that, there's 3 ways to apply this product. The traditional way, which you went with the sanded primer as your first coat, and then a base coat of Loma, and then a second coat of Loma. We also got the Dos Manos system, which doesn't require sanded primer, and we use a binding agent called mud glue, and it's a casein product. Essentially, it's just dried whey and water added to it.
And what would be the difference between that and the sanded primer?
15 cents a foot, basically, but it's easier for the inexperienced applicator to apply. You don't have as much problems. The mud glue is a little picky. You know, you have to be attentive, really, of how it's going on the wall. Make sure it's not too thin, or it'll delaminate. If it's too thick, it'll crack.
Because the sanded primer we put on just like regular paint. It was easy to go on.
Yeah.
So
it is easy, but you know, as a contractor, I can save 15 cents a foot without using it, and it doesn't affect the durability of the product at all. Matter of fact, the mud glue makes the plaster harder, really. So for you know, a high traffic area, a little mud glue or a little extra mud glue in your product will make a more durable surface. Okay. Not that this isn't durable; it is durable. They just say it's going to be more durable.
So the mud glue or primer goes on first. You wait maybe a day.
Well, the primer goes on first. The mud glue goes into your base coat, and so you don't you don't have to use the sanded primer. You just put the mud glue in your first application of the
So it
clay
actually-
plaster.
I
So it
see.
saves a process, and you have essentially the same results. New construction is best for that dos manos system.
So it saves a one coat, it saves a little time.
Saves some time and a little bit, like 15 cents a foot on product cost.
Okay. And then after that, if we were doing the sanded primer like the way we did, then you have to wait a little bit.
Well, you should just let it dry overnight is recommended. And then 2 coats on all your outside corners with the sanded primer. Same thing with the dos manos system. You need to have 2 coats of that sanded primer on the metal areas because it aids that bonding. You know, the metal, it doesn't really want to stick with the clay. So.
And then the clay comes in powdered bags.
Powdered bags, all you add is water. It's real easy. It's a 1-to-1-to-1 ratio. Say we're doing the base coat, it's 1 bag of product, 1 bag of mud glue, 1 bag of pigment, and you're ready to go.
And the pigment, you can choose from a variety of colors.
Yeah, 43 different colors.
And
endless possibilities, color combinations, you know, faux finish effects, all sorts of.
so we mixed that up in 5-gallon buckets. For this project, we mixed 3 all together and then kind of mixed those buckets together to get a consistent color.
Oh, okay.
You know, between the different buckets. And then just troweled this on, we started from the bottom up.
Okay.
And you can see on this rounded wall, we had to go side to side rather than up and down, but that turned out fine.
Yeah, that looks great.
And the thickness was, how much did they say?
Well, the first coat's supposed to be about the thickness of a credit card, 1/8 of an inch approximately, and then the falling coat should be about as thick for the Loma product. For the Porcelina product, it goes on a little thinner. The Maritimo product goes on just a little thicker.
Okay, so 2 coats separated by a drying period of a day, and then let it dry again for a day?
Yeah, once the 2 coats are dry, you can start the compression phase where we're at. The compression phase, see, clay doesn't set up, it's just clay here. When the water evaporates, it creates water voids. And what I do is I wet this wall back down again and I compress it. And that just makes a solid bind with the clay and the wall surface. The color stays in, it smooths it out, it seals it up to create.
Any sealer outside of this is that needed? Can you do that?
You can do it. It's not recommended because you lose some of the green properties of the wall. This wall breathes. It controls humidity. If the whole house was done in this, you could save up to 10% on your heating and cooling costs. Neutralizes odor, controls humidity. It's just amazing. And it's just clay. You know, 14,000 years old. It's about time we're getting back to this stuff. Texture effect.
Steve, how would somebody get a hold of you if they wanted to ask some more questions on this or explore this product?
My phone number is area code 970-903-1936. And if you're in the area, I'm working real close with Eco Builders, Jim Barnes.
Okay, good. And you're based out of what area?
Right now I'm out of Southwest Colorado, but I'm real interested in doing work in the whole state of Michigan. I grew up here, my family, my parents are here, so I'm just trying to show my face a little more.